Locutors on track. On screen. I would enjoy debating with you. You have a keen mind.
Hello and welcome to Debate 9 with your plain simple debaters, locutors, Tailors, Devin and Dave.
Live long and prosper.
That's us. Oh yeah. And our guest debater tonight is someone who's defeated me in debates of another kind. Adam Woodward, Enterprise at 8, Live Long and Podcast, and what you guys call your Discovery show.
Whatever we call it, but it's fun. It's good to see you guys. And good to be here too. So
nice to meet you, Adam.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for being here. We enjoy this game. So this is the game, for those of you who have never joined us before, where we've each come with 3 debates. So we will all be debate master, debater, and sometimes you can decide your own fate in this game. There's even politics involved for this reason. There's a little bit of everything. It's very Federation, and Dave, as Dave says, a little fun in its nature. And I think I'll tell it right because it is debating. Yeah, truth to be won, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
all right,
let's get going here, I guess. So I'll be debate master first.
Okay.
Being on the top left and all.
Top
so
left privilege.
The first 1 second, Dallas. Talk amongst yourselves.
Kind of choppy there, Davin.
Am I really?
A little bit. There's a little bit of clipping going on. Yeah.
A little bit of clipping, say. Well, 1 second. You know what? I do not have. Came woefully unprepared for this, I think. I don't think I have my trusty buzzer.
Oh, no.
Where is trusty buzzer?
Well, I have
Did you lose it in the
timer
move?
I can run here.
Yeah, I think I might have lost it in the move. Touch yourselves, fellas.
Okay. I can set up a little stopwatch here for 30 and then 15 seconds. Timer. Timer, I suppose. Wouldn't it be? Yeah. Might get a minute, I forget. I'm a master of this rule set. Sounds of vigorous rooting.
Buzzer has been found. How's the choppiness?
That's excellent because I had to figure out how to use my timer on my phone. So, you
am I chopping away here? Or are we good?
Not too bad. There's a little bit of clippiness, but
a little bit of clippiness. Well, hopefully it's.
If we can't make something out, we'll definitely ask you to.
We'll ask you.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so you'll have 30 seconds each, and then 30-second open debate. The first one. Be it resolved, it is better to have an Orion control your finances than a Ferengi. Adam, you will be arguing for this. 30 seconds, starting now.
Well, okay, so the Orions versus the Ferengis in finances. Well, I'm going to take the Orion side here because you told me. And number one, the Orions are a little more passionate and I think have a little more ruthlessness about their money and how they handle it. And when they, they will do it, whatever it takes to take that to the bank, as it were, and no conniving. It's just a passion and energy to get there all on the way. While the Ferengis are having all these rules of acquisition that just doesn't seem to work sometimes because they have to follow the rule.
All right, time's up. Very good. Opening statements. Your rebuttal, Dave.
I implore you, by the value of the sacred exchequer, the Orion moves you with pheromones. The Ferengi moves you with a profit margin. Now, if I, a Ferengi, were ever to cheat you, it would be with a clear head, and we would have a clause in the contract dealing with the potential repercussions of that fact. I do it for the Latin. It's all for the Latin, baby.
Okay, Dave pulling the I am a
just wish I
Ferengi.
had sharpened my teeth a little bit before that.
You need a new tooth sharpener.
I know. I wasted mine with
All right.
worms.
30 seconds open debate. Have at fisticuffs.
I think you mentioned the one thing that their big weakness is those ears. So compare that with the pheromones and the ear touching, that you can drive a Ferengi way off course, off his rules, to bend and break them in any way.
Spoken like a true pirate.
Right. And you see your way in.
Honestly, I think the Ferengi are simply more practiced in the art of honest commerce.
But we didn't mention honors. There's no honor here at all. It's about making money. Control your finances. Who's going to take you to the bank? I think they can. Additionally, yeah,
that is it. That is it. Very, very good debates.
Whew.
But what in the end was Adam's statement that, in fact, his Orion will manipulate your Ferengi. And that wasn't countered effectively enough in the time allotted, so Adam takes the first one.
Tricky Orion.
Very tricky. Yeah, very tricky. Both fine debates. I mean, both would probably be better at it. I mean, both are going to rub you blind. All right, Dave. Yours is up next.
All right. Be it resolved, being subject to whims of the Krenim time ship is a worse fate than being assimilated by the Borg. Adam just had to argue for one of these, so Davin, you can argue for this one.
Okay.
So you're arguing it is a worse fate.
Being subject to the whims of Arax and the Krenim time ship is way worse than being assimilated by the Borg. You can be recovered, as we've seen with Locutus, and if you're assimilated by the Borg. You don't even know there is a problem with the time ship. It's worse than resistance is futile. It's like effort is futile. It'll just be reset again and again and again. An endless loop.
Okay. Endless loop. Go for it, Adam.
I really don't like those endless loop episodes, let me just say. But I'll start off by saying assimilation is awful, simply because you still do have awareness when your soul and your being is taken away to you. If you're just unaware of a continuous loop, what are you missing out? You're just going through it again and again and again. I just don't buy it. I think, and then the idea of losing your consciousness and being broadcast in with millions of other beings just doesn't appeal to me whatsoever.
So I'm hearing sort of themes developing here. On the one side, there's this sort of notion of futility. On the other side, there's the profundity of the violation that is assimilation by the Borg, if I'm hearing you rightly. So let's have a bit of 30-second back and forth.
You mentioned right away. Please, go ahead.
No, I'm saying it's not an endless loop of like the same thing, because as we've seen in the Year of Hell, it can just keep worse and worse and worse. You still don't have a way out of it or know the loop going on, but it's just worse and worse. So there's that.
But at least you're experiencing it for the first time, regardless. While
you're experiencing assimilation for the first time.
Yeah, but you mentioned that there's a way out of it, and very few cases of a way out. I mean, just look at Picard. I mean, we had Borg cubes of unfunctional Borgs walking around. I can't remember what they called them, but ex-Borg or something. But I just think that it's something when you lose your being, at least in the timeline, you can always be you.
right.
Oh, this is tough.
I'm keeping score.
I think in the end, Adam got me within the end. Like, you're going to be you in the time stream things. That was a very good point. I
Kind
give
of
a point to
convinced me
Adam.
too.
God,
Yep.
it was really close
Adam-
until right there.
Yep. Adam's coming in with the last minute hits. He's doing your strategy, Dave. Dave likes to
That's
save a nice
right.
verbal
It's
uppercut.
because
for
I
the
have
end
to
off.
keep going until I think of something good. Okay, so
That's the thing. That's the thing about this game. That's why I like it.
All
You
right.
get way different debates when you have to come up with it off the top of your head.
mhm.
Oh, for sure.
All right, you're up next there, Adam.
All right, be it resolved. Chris Pine is a better James T. Kirk than William Shatner, and I'm going to turn this over to Dave. So Chris Pine is the better Kirk.
Okay.
Got your
So
work
am I
cut out,
on
buddy.
already? Are you
Here it
hitting
is.
it?
Hit it.
All right. Chris Pine, Hollywood darling, is an excellent Kirk. He had swagger. He embodied the feeling of James Kirk as a character and simultaneously demonstrated that it need not be tied to a single iconic actor presenting the part. He did a brilliant job of bringing what we love about Kirk into a fresh take on the timeline while extending his own self in it.
Who played the better James Kirk? That's like saying who played better William Shatner. The thing we love about James T. Kirk, William Shatner. The things that I did, a couple moments, and one was just like the first movie. He's just like, "Oh, take us away," and that was like the one time he felt like the most Shatner, and that's why it was his best delivery and best line. It's one of the most performance of Kirk is one of the most iconic characters in the history of television and cinema. His portrayal.
Okay, so let's leave it to the rebuttals to see who can take this home, because both of you are compelling so far.
Okay.
All right.
Well, the thing that Pine manages to do that Shatner doesn't is escape being William Shatner. This.
Why would you want to
has-
escape such a thing? It's like one of the great personalities. Why would you want to escape
George
that?
Takei
That's the problem
could,
with
be brought
Pine.
on
He
screen
does
to talk
escape
about his
being epic
points.
personality.
He absolutely
He has
does. He
little
gets away
personality.
from the idiosyncrasies of Kirk and gets into, or Shatner gets into the beauties of Kirk.
Okay, I'm giving this to Dave, and I'll tell you why. A couple things. The word, the things that you love about Kirk. You know, there's a lot we don't love about Kirk, but I think that Chris Pine did sorry, Dave, you called it out. He did a great job of extracting the best of what William Shatner does in that role and making it his own, honestly. And yes, there was definitely some copycatting and stuff like that, but he did a brilliant Shatner doing Kirk, in my opinion, as well. So, Dave, point goes to you.
Well, I mean, it's a standing on the shoulders of giants argument, ultimately, right?
I mean, I actually like it. He's my favorite of that new cast. So I'm not going to ban too much.
That's a good question, actually, for maybe trivial debate sometime, because it's a bigger. Because you could go the whole cast on that, and I love 2009 Star Trek. I think it was one of the best movies.
Honestly, I'll literally watch.
I like that one.
So, yeah, Dread is one of the greatest modern films, honestly.
So I don't like what they did with the whole Bones thing. Nickname. I thought it was dumbing it down for the bit much, but that's fine. All right, back to me. I go for me here. All right. Be it resolved. Cardassia should rebuild itself with no advice from outside powers. Dave, you be arguing for this.
Okay.
Adam against. Dave, take her away.
Okay. Cardassia brought itself to its knees in allying itself with Dominion. Cardassia has learned its own mistakes. I think the challenge of its own future has to be charted without courting Federation membership or courting disaster with Romulans or Zencathi. Cardassia needs to find its own way, particularly after the Dominion War. And as it's in no military position to harangue anyone else, it should be left so.
Okay. Adam, rebuttal.
Okay, imagine your ability to start over. And maybe you've seen lots of things and external factors towards you, but you have the ability to pick and choose the best of different cultures, different societies, and bring them into yours and make them your own. I think that one of the problems is that they were going in their own direction. Yes, they were influenced, but they were going in their own direction and needed some help. And maybe at this time they can take the best of Federation worlds to develop their own culture and their own history going forward.
That sounds like a delightful
This is gonna have
Federation
to-
diplomatic ploy.
All right, have it out. I think this one's going to be bloody. Go.
Oh, the Federation would like that, wouldn't it? Sink its little root beer claws into
Yes, I mean,
Cardassia.
that's exactly what the Federation does. It's taking the best of everything and harmonizing it in one place, and adapting and trying to bring cultures into them, as well as expanding and showing that their own culture.
Bring in, is it?
Mhm.
That might encounter resistance on Cardassia Prime.
It may, however, we've been down this road before.
Oh, man, Adam, you killed that one. Adam gets the point. Just
That was beautiful.
killed
That was
one.
really lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow. I see. I brought us in a ringer here, Dave.
It's true.
Don't mess around.
Running away with this.
I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be on a losing streak here soon. Cousin Jeff won the last. Basically, we're you and I are defending the honor of Locurers of Trek here, and we keep getting beat by Live Long podcast. So.
All right.
It's 2 against 1. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
Just like the Cardassians,
All
we
right.
locked ourselves into this one.
Exactly.
All right.
Dave.
So, be it resolved, the existence of a spatial trajector on the Borg reclamation site, now landed on Copelia Station, means that the second-gen Sung-type flesh droids could become the new Iconians. Adam, I'll have you
This one's
argue for this.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, this one sounds good. I think I have a chance here.
No. Yeah.
Adam,
we probably
go.
do.
TikTok.
Okay, so
TikTok.
I think that Dave, you put an excellent question out today, and I'm just reading the question again. The existence of the spatial trajectory on the Borg reclamation site now compared to Copelia. Okay, means that the second generation. Yes. Okay, and thank you very
I'll
much.
give you another second.
All right, yeah,
when,
let's
No,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
Go for it.
I'm good.
No.
I'm
Go,
good.
go. All right. Here's my rebuttal then.
I might be able to rebut his argument.
Yeah, maybe.
Take it with a
Oh,
grain.
all right.
So I'm arguing it won't be the new Iconians.
Yes, that's
Well,
right.
the reason that is because the Iconians could literally travel to any point that we know of in the galaxy, and that's not quite what the spatial trajectory is. I mean, they can do quite a few light years. I mean, I think it's like 50 light years a second or something like that. Quite a lot. But we also don't know that they have the same type of tensions as the Iconians.
Okay.
Okay, so now that I get some context here, I think that the Borg, if you're going to say that they're the new Iconians, that's actually quite frightful.
Not the
race of
Borg,
conquerors.
the Soong type fleshlights are. Those ones
True,
from Picard.
but
Yeah.
the Soong type flesh droids could become that a conquering race as well. And I that again, not something we really would want in the Federation at this point. We've been through wars, we've been through the Borg. Now it's time to settle things down a little bit. And I'm not sure I'd be in favor of second generation.
And they're not
who are-
they're not a species either. They're just a small group of people. people.
We can make
Not
them.
a species. Interesting. Well, I suppose we don't know.
as in a
what
planet,
androids
isn't it,
can
like a
do.
planet? But, yeah.
Right. So this was,
Dave likes-
admittedly, a pretty weird question. I just
likes
remembered
his weird-
the term spatial trajectory. I'm like, oh, I'm making a question about that. So the challenge is, what would the intention of the Soong type androids be? Right, and I think that's the question that we're kind of dancing around a little bit. In this case, I'm going to give the point to Davin.
Please. If you gave it to me, I'd go, what
I
the hell's
needed
wrong
that
with you?
You know, I was super ready to
it
give
was
the
a-
other side too. Oh well.
Yeah. It was a good attempt at a salvage, anyway.
Yep. That was fun. Okay, Adam, you're up.
Okay, the prime directive is not just a set of rules. It's a philosophy and a very correct one. Jean-Luc Picard from, I can't remember the
Symbiosis.
episode now. Thank you. This statement is completely false. Davin, defend that. That the statement is false, pardon me. Defend it.
I think the prime directive is a bit too rigid. And that's why, as a philosophy and as a rigid philosophy, it goes too far. I think we've seen cases in Star Trek, like if you can save the lives of people, we have to see you do it. Should you those people? Now, I think there's been many cases in Star Trek where they betray the prime directive, and I think it's happened in every series multiple times because it's too rigid, which shows that it's not a great philosophy. My time is up. I forgot to hit the timer, but
Okay.
it's definitely.
Sorry, you were cutting a bit in and out of that one, but I think I got
Oh no,
your points. Okay.
what's on my mic
Okay.
today?
Am I okay to start?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. The prime directive is precisely because it can be disobeyed. A philosophy more than a set of rules. Sure, there's a set of written down principles and directives, and there's the Starfleet Charter and all sorts of stuff. But the essence of the thing is the spirit of discovery and the spirit of wonder at existence, and particularly at life in all its articulation and its beauty. In that sense, the prime directive is an orientation toward the rightness of lives in their own context.
Okay. Let's go to rebuttals.
Sure.
30 seconds on the clock.
But the quote from Jean-Luc Picard is, "It's not just a set of rules; it is a philosophy,
Yeah,
but
precisely.
also a set of rules. But also
Yeah.
a set of rules." That starts. It
Right.
is a set of rules. It's a rule.
Absolutely.
What's the point of a rule if the point is to break it?
It's
So-
to cultivate our own judgment, our own directedness toward beings in a way that's compassionate, but also wise. So when we break
think
those rules, we have to look and account for what our reasoning was and what our actual process.
I think what we
was.
see in Star Trek is
Like Data
the
does with
universe is more
Picard,
complex
Picard
than
does
that.
with Data. You remember the
It's more
episode Pen Pal? I
Decisions
think.
need more complexity to them.
Mhm.
In for a penny, in for a pound. Remember that?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a debate I would actually love to have a discussion with you guys over dinner some night, because
Oh, this would be a
Wait,
great
oh,
long.
sure.
Oh yeah.
way more here.
We'll do a
than-
long.
than-
We'll bring you in for a long form.
yeah.
That would actually be awesome.
And
Yeah, it would.
Davin, while I kind of agree with your side, I'm going with Dave because I think he just had a great argument and was able to bring it home.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The idea that it's an orientation to goodness or to the spirit of the Federation, I think is absolutely probably true. And however, I do think it's rigid, but however, point goes to Dave.
Certainly for Picard, that's true,
Yeah.
right? Like it might not be true for everybody. I think for others that may be, fall
Yeah,
into
but
the why.
well, okay. Again, I want to have this talk, but later.
That's true.
Idea
We'll
for
say-
a
we'll
segment.
put a
should
pin
have
on that.
segment where about our favorite debates from the last few editions of
Oh, that's a
D89
fun
and
idea.
some long-form
Yeah.
discussion on them. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a great
let's do
idea.
that.
That would be a great.
Yeah, we're doing it. I can't get an idea and not do it. We just got to do it. All right. Next, so let me just revisit score here. We have Adam at 3, Dave at 2, and myself at not quite 2 and definitely not quite 3. All right. So,
But not 0.
Moving on up.
But
no,
not 0.
not 0.
Oh.
That's good.
All right, next. Starfleet should have gone with A. Robinson to captain the NX-01 and not Jonathan Archer. This one's for you at Enterprise at 8.
All right, let's just
All right.
start. First of all, I do not know exactly what Archer's background was, but he seems like more of an engineer and developer than a leader. And I think that's time and time again. We're only into season 1, probably episode 12 now or something, but he is just a very poor representation of what a Starfleet captain should be. Now, albeit he's number 1, I'll give you that, but he is representing Earth for the first time out there, and I don't think he has the skill set or just the humbleness to understand his own failures or limitations.
Okay. The anti-Archer argument more than the pro-G argument. All right. It still works.
Well, it's meaning that anybody is better than Archer.
Oh, that's one of those final
Now
uppercuts to
that's
save for
a
the end.
good body shot
But
right
anyway,
there.
I think you just wasted his uppercut. All right, Dave, 30 seconds.
Well,
to you.
I'll try and recover from that liver punch and point out that I think in strict terms, if you lay anybody's life out on a table, it's going to be a steaming mess.
Whoa.
A.G. Robinson was a great pilot, great leader, good officer. I think what set Jonathan Archer apart wasn't any of those qualities. It was the sense in which he embodied the spirit of humanity at the time, struggling to demonstrate its own possibility and potential in a galaxy against that ceiling they feel like the Vulcans have set.
I think that the problem with Archer is his actually racism that he has against the Vulcans, and he's like, and that in itself just limits him because he goes into outer space with prejudices in his mind, and he just, even with his first officer, he can't see around that, and it's taken time, and I don't think he has the spirit of exploration in his mind if he's already got these preset prejudices.
Yeah, he's really got to get the scales knocked off his eyes, right? And I think that's part of what humanity's doing at the time too. I think he's more like an emblem than the best practical fit. You know, you and I are agreed on the fact, I think, that he's not maybe the best program relate, like in terms of the NX-01 program. I think we agree that he's not like the best guy to choose.
Oh, yeah, that was a pretty little spin you had to put on that at the end. Now I think about it. So is it the better to be an emblem, or better to be the most practical choice? Oh, I like that emblem argument, Dave. I'm giving it to you.
You got me waxing all poetical here, man.
Yeah, because like I agree that might have a more resonant effect through Starfleet and through humanity, like getting their humbleness knocked into them a bit, and like their prejudices knocked out them. You know, I think that was.
Although, you know, an interesting
Convincing.
question would be whether Robinson going out there might have avoided what happened to Florida somehow. Like, I don't know. Maybe that was just inevitable, right? Because that's one of those moments in the show that's just like, that just really marks a dividing line, you know?
Literally.
Yeah, quite literally.
There's not two Floras there.
That's right.
I call it Cuba 1 and Cuba 2, you know. Yeah.
That's right.
East and West Everglades.
That's right.
All right. Well, now we tie at 3, and well, I need to
right.
win these next 2 just to tie you guys. So
All right.
Time to break up the big arguments. Okay. Dave, to you.
Okay, so in Voyager Season 2, Episode 23, The Thaw, Janeway remarks that Starfleet used to use linked VR stasis chambers for crews on long space flights. Be it resolved, Starfleet should use something like the Argrathi model of digital corrections. Now, my last question was weird and complicated. Before we begin, I'm not going to assign anything. Do we want to clear up anything about the question before we start?
Yes.
Okay. So the Thaw is the episode with like the creepy clown
Right.
that terrifies
He's the
people.
Yeah,
Reputation of
that's
fear.
not what's got me here. It's what's the model, the Argrathi model.
The Argrathi,
Argrathi model.
That's from Hard Time on Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
But then it doesn't
And was in a
necessarily have
cell
to
for
be
20 years.
the same intent, but like they should adopt that kind of a way of doing corrections.
Ah,
It's like it's a compressed sentence in your mind. You think you've been there for a long time, but you haven't.
Yeah.
But tell that to yourself. Anyway, who's arguing?
Oh, this is okay. Gotcha. Sorry, Davin. Yes.
Yeah.
O'Brien, 30 years. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, O'Brien must suffer.
Yeah, it's the one where O'Brien nearly kills himself.
Yeah. Great episode. Oh man.
Yeah.
I'll have Davin argue for this.
So I'm arguing that Starfleet should have the model. Okay. I'm ready for this. All right. Starfleet should definitely adopt something like the Argrathi, but certainly less harsh. Like you don't want to be in there with Miles and have him in isolation, not being fed, murdering his best friend, that type of thing. You just have a compressed time frame of treatment. Like imagine you could give someone 20 years of treatment, like proper treatment, in 30 seconds. How beneficial to get them back as a productive member of society.
Okay.
So,
Go for it.
Dave, my argument against this is simple, and it's the rights of the victims and their rights to fair punishment and fair rehabilitation as well. But to say that somebody can go into something for 30 seconds or a day or whatever it might be when they've done something heinous is not fair to the victims at all. They need to be removed from the society, removed away to get the full impact of what they've done.
Okay. Oh, this is fascinating. Oh, this is better than I'd hoped. Go for it.
So I'll just continue my argument 1 second there. I just think that it's the easy way out. It seems to me is that we can easily cure somebody, take them away, and I'm for, by the way, for rehabilitation and getting people changed around. And I think there can be a compromise here, but there still has to be a punishment, and never mind in the person's mind. This is beyond, and I'm again I go back to the victims. Davin, over to you.
Is it more important the speedy rehabilitation or the punishment? And the question is, what should Starfleet do? And what we've seen is Starfleet is not a punitive society; they're a rehabilitation-driven society. Starfleet could rehabilitate faster.
Yeah, but hold on a second here, because
that's
wait.
They're doing things.
Listen, I think in the next generation, you're fine. That's a great argument. But to get away from that into the real world or real universe of Star Trek, and when there's actual anger and wars and people dying, and real feelings about people's what happened out there, you have to account for that.
Oh man!
But I think what they do their legislation has to rise above.
This is a beautiful set of arguments.
This is a good one too.
Oh man! Because that's an issue. Because the point that you make there, Adam, is not one that Hard Time even really addresses. It addresses the impact on Miles afterwards, but it doesn't really address how the Argrathi understand justice in terms of what you're thinking about, that kind of recompense or requital or what would have been represented a long time ago by Were Guild and things like that, right? Man,
It's a good one. It's a good debate.
yeah,
Good argument.
God, I think Adam's got the point, honestly.
Okay.
Starfleet
Starfleet will now start punishing people.
Oh boy.
I do. Well, I mean, in the sense that like they put Tom Paris in like a prison, right? I can see like the idea that maybe what you want to do is stick somebody in the stasis chamber for the duration of their sentence and just make them do therapy the whole time.
Well,
All right.
and I don't like the idea of what's it called, the agonizer at all. I don't. That's not what I'm looking for here. But pardon?
We're not going full agonizer. Yet.
Full mirror universe.
No, because
There
you're
may
not
be a
getting.
spectrum.
You're not getting anything out of any good out of it
Mhm,
at the end.
mhm.
But, anyhow.
But you're right. Like there's a beautiful ancient argument in Plato's Crito where he's arguing with his friend about whether he should try and escape from prison after having been locked up. Right? That he says, is it just to correct someone either harshly or unharshly and then make them, help them to learn what to do right, or is it better to be gentle? Or just let it pass in that sense is what he really means, and then just see how they turn out. And it's a wonderful question of justice. Yeah. Oh man, fantastic.
That'll be for Justice episode number 2.
That's right.
Okay, I have lost, but if Dave wins this next debate, which is funny. See, this is what's funny about this game, Adam. You can decide your own fate here.
So what happens here?
Oh, that's interesting. That's true.
You can either let the fact that if Dave wins this debate, you got tied, sway your decision. Or
So Dave's still
going.
Dave's still debating you, though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But if I win this debate, you win the game.
Okay.
You have all the power here. This is why my game here has corrupt rules.
I gotta bring my
We have
A
it-
game
To
now.
win this way. Jeez. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you can sway him at this point, then it just shows you the strength of your argument.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. My question. Picard was stupid. Use that by not taking the option to infect the Borg with a virus that would have caused their extinction in the episode I, Borg. Davin, please take that argument.
Picard, I'm Nietzsche. Yeah, okay. Valerian canapes. All right, got it. All right, so Picard was very stupid because he's cost so many lives. The dear wife of Benjamin Sisko. No, this was after, I guess. But, yes, he absolutely should have. I mean, the Borg do untold damage to, like, just what we see in the Alpha Quadrant is bad enough, but they just run roughshod over the Delta Quadrant, and that virus would have even stopped all of that. And now it's like we heard in the debate, they have the trajector. They got to go. He could have done it.
Okay. Picard wasn't stupid for not taking the option. Picard was Starfleet for not taking the option.
Like I said, stupid. Sorry.
You have infected me with laughter as a virus. No, Picard really he takes the Prime Directive very seriously here, but the struggle that he undergoes shows how hard it is for him to get to that point. He wants to do the other thing.
Okay, let's go into rebuttals because I think we have to. You're both on the edge here.
Look, it's a hard to make, yes, like, and it's a moral line, but Benjamin Sisko would have got that job done. Benjamin Sisko would have lived with it. Picard's own feelings about himself are more important to him than the lives of the friggin' galaxy.
I
Is
don't
what
think
we've
it's his
learned.
feelings about himself. I think it's his feelings about the Borg that he has to try and comes to terms with and not be dominated by in making the decision.
Okay, so do you remember the episode of Next Gen with Kevin Uxbridge? And he basically just thought it was him and his wife on a planet, and they had lived on a little patch of land.
Oh yeah,
Can't remember the name. The Survivors.
yeah. But this ship comes up and just destroys everything.
Right. So he was turned out to be an omnipotent kind of being that could just wish away a race. And I remember watching that at the time and thinking, that's something else. Like, can you imagine wishing away Nazi Germany or wishing away
Sure.
anything? But that's power. But at the same time, Picard has this, I think, and this is what's beautiful about Picard, is his sense of more than himself or more than the Federation, and just the sense of morality, I think. Now, however, I think, Davin, you're absolutely right in the end, and I'm going to give you the point to you, is because it was a silly mistake. It, ultimately cost billions of lives, and in this case, the good of the many.
Cisco would have done it.
Yeah, no,
And
Cisco.
Cisco's Mike Gappy.
You're right about Cisco for sure.
But
And
on the other hand,
yeah.
it made great TV for us and movies for a long time ago. So
That's true.
Yeah. And podcasts.
yes, sir.
Well, Adam, now the second person in Debate 9 history to give themselves the win. It's a
I gave myself the win?
Gavin.
yeah, see,
No,
and everyone always forgets that's what they're doing. But yeah,
No, no,
I
no.
thought I was giving myself the tie. Whoa. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
see?
okay, well,
No.
Yeah.
It was a good argument, man. I think that he came by that win honestly on your account.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, that
Well,
was
what fun.
another. We have another champion. We're racking up champions here on Debate 9. I don't even know if I don't think we have a two-time winner yet. Actually.
I would love the opportunity to go explore these topics further, though, with you guys.
We definitely should.
We'll have you on this episode. We're definitely gonna do this deep dive on these.
You could do like an hour and take two of them and go further, right? It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Just do an episode on the Prime Directive, right? It'd be wonderful.
Yeah. All right. Ooh, I like getting new ideas for shows and segments. So this is good stuff. So why don't you, Adam, tell people about your exploits over on Live Long and Podcast? As the
Right,
winner, you get to plug first.
I get to spend time with Dave Nader and the Live Long Podcast crew. And so what do you got? Enterprise at 8 on Mondays, where I'm with Jody Simpson, and me host that one, along with Dave Nader and Kevin Millard and his wife from time to time.
I think I'm on that tomorrow.
Oh, are you? Excellent. I have to go watch the episode.
So. Dear Doctor, right?
Yes, going to go watch that episode right now, actually.
Yeah. I love that episode.
And then on
I'm
Thursdays right now, we are in the midst of Discovery Season 4 coming up. And did you guys hear? We learned last week that our own Michael Chan, who has been part of the podcast and Star Trek Radio Theater, and etc., actually was starring in last week's episode. And that was really something really cool to be part of.
That's exciting. We're going to have him on our first contact interview segment over here on Low Key.
He's a smart guy and really fun, and you'll enjoy that talk with him. But he's now got what we all probably want to be part of Star Trek. So
part of Alpha Canon.
That's right. And speaking for Dave, he's got a ton of other stuff going on there, including DS9 on Tuesdays that you're part of, Davin. Pardon me, I did it again. And whatnot. So check it out. Live Long and Podcast.
And they also have the Super Mater brothers, which you probably guest on every now and then, like Trivial Debates and all that stuff.
I've never been on that one.
Their stuff. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I just plugged for them. All right, and listen to us, Little Cuters of Trek, wherever you podcasts.
Indeed.
We just had a Jeffrey Combs supplemental up there. We're going to have... Did we decide what this next one's going to be on yet, Dave? It's going to have something to do with planets.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
narrow down the actual theme, as we are a thematic show.
Indeed.
It's kind of the
Planet.
hardest thing to do sometimes.
Yeah. Though we do wander a
But
bit,
yeah,
pardon the pun. Ho, ho, ho.
check us out. It may be pronounced Jeffrey Coombs. I don't know. We may have done a whole supplemental where I said it wrong the entire time.
I think you're
I
right.
don't know. Combs?
Combs, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I thought it was
That seems-
Combs. Yeah. Okay. Good. Then I withdraw my apology.
No comeuppance.
Also, check out another podcast, X-Rated, the X-Men Animated Review Show, here on the YouTubes and wherever you get your podcasts, and the Twitches and the Facebooks. Wherever you want to watch us, we're there. We have a big interview coming up this week with Eric and Julia Lewald, who were writers on the X-Men the animated series and producers on the new upcoming show, as well as the writers of a book I'm reading right now, the X-Men, the Art and Making of the Animated Series, which has been an awesome read so far and gorgeous.
Oh, right on.
Enjoyable. So yeah, check us out. And we have our episode Tuesday as well. We're doing our season 1 finale. The Final Decision. That episode is called. And I guess that's all we... Oh, you know what? Check out my co-host Andre over at X-Rated's podcast, Graphic Histories. He interviews tons of notables and celebrities from the comic book industry, creators, artists, writers. Check it out. He's got lots of great guests on there, and he's a good interviewer. That's where I'm learning how to interview. He's going to teach me. Because when he was our first guest on the First Contact segment, and my questions were just like, tell me about your art. And, you expect more from your Sean Evans, why not?
Oh, that's a spicy
And
take.
I would never go on hot ones. I don't think it's so spicy. maybe. Anyway, I guess I'm just rambling now about hot sauce and whatnot. So I guess we're done here. Check us out. Check us out on. You can email us at. Where are we? Where are we, Dave? Lookcruisertrek@gmail.com. That's the one.
Yeah, we're on the
Definitely check us
Facebooks
out.
and other places.
Yeah. Those types of. All right, let's get out of here then.
All right. In that
Stop
case,
it. Adam, congratulations on
your
well-earned
win.
victory, I would say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me. I'd love to come back sometime.
right on. We'll hopefully talk to you again soon, man.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, winning guarantees you a seat. So we
Excellent.
like to do champions editions over here. Yeah. All right.
All right. In that
See
case,
you later, everybody.
end transmission.
Look, you two. Trek. On screen.